Are you ready? All right, at this time I want to remind all of our students that we are starting the assembly with assembly behavior, and that looks like this. Crisscross applesauce, check. Look at your neighbor, are they ready? Eyes on the front, hands in your lap, and sitting very still and very quiet. We have a very special, it is a very, very special day today, and we need you all to help us to celebrate some important people. And we're going to find out why we're here to celebrate and what we're going to do today in just a minute. All right, so today is Veterans Day, and we have some veterans with us. And to get us started, we're going to learn what is a veteran and why do we celebrate Veterans Day. So we're going to start with a video, What is a Veteran? Just a second, let me get my, there it is. All right. So we'll go ahead and talk about, while we've got this running, our veterans. Veterans are our, there we go. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Love Hewitt. I want to talk about some people who need your support. The people I'm talking about live right here. They're part of your community, probably a part of your family. I'm talking about tens of millions of people who gave their sweat and blood and sometimes their lives to serve our country. I'm talking about veterans. And not just the men and women who fought in wars. I'm talking about everyone who served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. What do you think about when you hear the word veteran? Older men in uniform marching in a parade? Well, there's a lot more to it than that. Let me tell you about something that happened to me. Not too long ago, I decided to visit some of our newest veterans who were wounded in the war in Iraq. I wanted to hear their stories and see what it was like for them to rebuild their lives after being wounded. And they just amazed me. What they've been through, their grit and determination to get their life together after being hurt. And the people who were helping them recover, amazing people. It was really inspiring, but the thing that got to me was how young they were. They were just a few years older than you, and many of them were my age. It really got me thinking about why they served and what we can learn from them. And not just them, but from all the vets who served over the years since we became a nation. Who was a veteran? Well, my grandfather was, and there may be vets in your family or in your friends' families. Millions of Americans serve our country in the armed forces. On Veterans Day, we're supposed to honor veterans. Veterans serve to protect the things we take for granted, like being able to talk about what we believe in and listen to music we like, or being able to travel wherever we want without being afraid. In America, thanks in large part to our military men and women, we have freedom and opportunities that many other countries don't have. So I'm glad they're here, ready to fight for our nation and protect us. And I'm glad for all those who came before them and all those who will follow. Now, another thing I learned about talking to veterans is sacrifice. The kind of sacrifices they made to stand up for America. Lots of people who served in Iraq left families behind to wait for their safe return. Others left behind girlfriends or boyfriends or a good job. And they certainly left behind all the fun stuff we like to do. Veterans all the way back to the war that made us a nation have made great sacrifices, sometimes even giving up their lives. Why? Because they believe in something bigger than themselves. More important, they believe in keeping us safe and free from harm and in protecting our way of life and all of the freedom that we have here. I believe that's why we're honoring veterans now, to say thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. Find out for yourself about veterans' experiences by inviting some veterans to come talk to your class. It's easy to do and your teacher can help. Just ask the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW. They have an ongoing program where you can meet and hear stories from real veterans. There's a website where you can find out more. It has lots of information information about veterans and Veterans Day, and suggestions about projects and things you can do. Or you can volunteer to help at a VA medical center or other places that help our veterans. Volunteer your time and you can get to know some vets. You'll get valuable experience and training. And the Disabled American Veterans offers generous scholarships for qualified student volunteers. But did you know that there are already over 24,000 students just like you who volunteer? You want to know more? Well, check out the website. Now, some other ideas. There's the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. You can talk to veterans about their memories and experiences, or record them on audio tape or shoot them on video. You'll learn something and you'll make your own bit of history at the same time. Now, the other thing is to write a letter to them, to let them know that you are thinking about them, and to be a part of the National Salute to hospitalized veterans on Valentine's Day. Because they're out there saying we're standing tall to keep our nation and our people safe and free. I hope you've got a better idea about veterans and why we should honor them. Thank you for listening.
All right, today it is our privilege to honor the veteran guests that we have with us today. Walker Wildcats. Give our veterans a big round of applause. We're so glad you're here. We have an assembly for you, brought to you by our 4th grade. It's called We Celebrate America. And so at this time, with no further ado, I'll introduce our music teacher. We have Miss Henry and the 4th graders here to present for you their program.
Let's go and get those stations.
All right.
Welcome to our program today. Join us on our celebration of our country that we love and those who serve our nation.
Of all the nations to be found as the planet spins round and round, I am so thankful that I can say how very wonderful is the USA. We celebrate America, we celebrate our nation. With hearts and minds in unity, we celebrate our land. We celebrate America through fervent declaration. We stand here as Americans with freedom hand in hand.
Of these sing across our nation.
While freedom rings, our voices rise as one.
With colors true, red, white, and blue.
Our celebration has begun. Of thee we sing across our nation.
One flag, one land, one heart, one hand, one nation evermore. The stars and the stripes remind us all what's at our country's core.
Brave and full of courage as red stripes gleaming bright.
Clean in body, heart, and mind as the other stripes so white.
True as the true blue background where the stars send out their light.
Yes, our flag represents and was worth the fight.
Freedom that is for me, loyalty I return, allegiance I pledge to you, gratitude you earn.
Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
From the great majestic mountains to the rolling countryside, the beauty of our nation not one of us can hide.
From east coast to west, if you travel state by state, you may find the many people that make this country great.
The songs we have sung through the years are just a little part of the gratitude and the pride that is within our hearts.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet
Let us not forget the men and women who answered our nation's call, committing to serve and bring peace and freedom for us all.
For when I lay my head down at night and go to sleep in peace, I can stay there knowing all is well while they're standing on their feet.
Keeping watch, protecting shore to shore, in the air and oceans too, defending freedom at all its cost for the red, white, and the blue.
We salute all who served in the present or past. The gratitude we feel now, forever may it last.
All right, we're about to do the salute to the armed forces, and at this time we sing all the songs of the different military branches. And we would love if you were a part of that military branch that you would stand up while we sing your songs so that we can honor you and recognize you.
Boys and girls, sit down, please.
Only if you serve the country. I'm sure some of you will. But for now, it's just for those who have already served or are presently serving. They're ready to go.
To the soldiers who have traveled unto countries far and near, in peace and war you paid the price for the cause you hold so dear.
That we may wake each morning bright and know that freedom rings. Because of your great sacrifice, this is why we sing.
Thank you, men and women, brave and strong. To those who serve so gallantly, we sing this grateful song.
What can you say to a hero? To someone who gives so much? What can you say to a hero? To someone who lives lives to touch?
We can say thank you. Oh, we can say thank you, thank you. We know God blesses you for all you did and do. We've seen your light shine through, and we are all blessed too. You are our heroes. What can you say to a hero? To someone who's always there? What can you say to a hero? To someone who lives life to care? We can say thank you. Oh, we can say thank you, thank you. We owe so much to you. Your hearts and deeds are true. For all you did and do, we give our thanks to you. You are our heroes. You are our heroes. You are our heroes. Thank you.
The many who have gone before to defend and protect our land will always be part of us, for united now we stand.
We're thankful that we're living in the nation of the free for a voice and a choice. Yes, that's our guarantee.
We celebrate America and freedom shining bright from state to state within each heart. May it burn ever bright.
Now it is time to go. We leave you with one last thought. Stand proud for all that's gone before and for freedoms that were brought. The lights of freedom. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas,
California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware,
Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho,
Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas.
The lights, oh say, can you see, shining out in liberty, on each day throughout our land, shine upon us as we stand free. Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland,
Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi,
Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada,
New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York.
The lights, oh say, can you see, shining out in liberty, on each day throughout our land, shine upon us as we stand free. North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah,
Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Well, we want to acknowledge those veterans that are with us. So when you hear your name, and we're going to call the names of the veterans as well as the names of our students who are representing those veterans too. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Dean Alexander, Sergeant, 14 years of service in the Army, and he is related to Sarah and Hannah Winters. Chris Benter, Sergeant, 15 years of service in the U.S. Marine Corps, related to Haley Landis. Please stand. Jerry Carter, Sergeant, 4 years of service in the U.S. Marine Corps, related to Hunter Arona.
Mark Butler, Airman, First Class, 3 years of service in the U.S. Air Force, related to Kenna Butler, that's her dad.
Al Donahue, Airman, 2 years of service in the U.S. Navy, related to Kenley Boston.
Mike Carter, E5, 6 years of service in the U.S. Navy, related to Chloe Mitchell. Dale Chittister, Sergeant, 4 years of service in U.S. Marines, related to Cooper Chittister.
Charles Hackney, E5 Sergeant, 8 years of service in the Air Force and Army National Guard, related to Ethan Hackney and Macy Neal.
Bob Fields, 4th Class Specialist, Air Cavalry, 2 years of service in the U.S. Army, related to Leighton Fields.
David Hatfield, E5 Sergeant, 11 years of service in the Air Force National Guard, grandfather to Briley and Renner Jester.
Ralph Jackson, Personal Sergeant, U.S. Air Force Radio Repairman, U.S. National Army Guard, father of Michelle Casey and grandfather to Braden Sprague.
Josh Manley, E5 Sergeant, 8 years of service in the Army National Guard, related to Jaden and Izzy Manley.
Wayne Lacey, Lance Corporal, 2 years of service in the U.S. Marine Corps, related to Savannah Lacey and Liza Kate Wilroth.
John Rinks, Staff Sergeant, 7 years of service in U.S. Air Force, father of Mrs. Cloud and grandfather of Joshua Cloud.
Richard F. Olson, Lieutenant Colonel, retired, 20 years of service in the U.S. Air Force, related to Kendall Olson.
Kelsey Schockerbauer, Private First Class, 4.5 years of service in the Army National Guard, related to Riley Schockerbauer.
Jeff Schreiber, ABH-3, Petty Officer, 3rd Class, 4 years of service in the U.S. Navy, dad to Avery Schreiber. Dr. Jim Sebestia, Captain, 2 years of service in the U.S. Army, grandfather to Dennis Morrison.
Donald R. Sides, STCS, 20 years of service in the U.S. Navy, related to Hudson and Mrs. Barnett. Doug Simpson, Staff Sergeant, 7 years of service in the U.S. Air Force, related to Cale and Bo Simpson.
Tommy Wooten, HT-3, 4 years of service in the U.S. Navy, father to Kinley and Lane Wooten.
Thomas Workman, E4 Cook, 3 years of service in the U.S. Army, related to Hudson and Mrs. Barnett.
And we have Jerry Tuck, Staff Sergeant, 7 years of service in the Army National Guard, related to Colton Tuck.
Luis Gonzalez, 3 years in the Army, related to Christopher Brown.
And we have Gerald Van Laar, E2 electrician, 2 years of service in the U.S. Navy, related to Holland Van Lefevre. All right, at this time, we would just like to thank each and every one of you who served in our armed forces to protect our country and to give us the freedom that we are now able to celebrate and enjoy. And on behalf of all Walker Wildcats, we would like to say thank you. Appreciate you coming today. That concludes our service. We would like to invite all veterans and families to the reception in the library immediately following.